Hello students, I am Dr. Meenakshi Mahur, Assistant Professor, Zoology, Sri Samvliaji Government College, Mandafia, Chittorgarh. Today my topic is learning. Learning is an internal change in the animal causing adaptive changes in the behavior as a result of experience. This definition was given by W. H. Thorpe in 1951. According to Anne E. Miller, 1967, learning is a permanent tendency for a stimulus to elicit a response that can be reversed by training. Then, in 1981, S. A. Barnett gave his definition of learning. According to him, learning is any adaptive change in behavior as a consequence of experience of repeated stimuli. So learning is a change in a behavior that occurs as a result of experiences. When we compare learning with innate behavior, learned behaviors are less rigid, and many learned behaviors can be modified to suit changing conditions. Now I am giving over here difference between innate and learned behavior. Instinctive, that is a fixed action pattern which is based on genetics, is the main characteristic of innate behavior. Learned behavior are based on experience. Innate behavior cannot be modified by individual and they are unaffected by environment, while learned behavior can be modified by individual by trial and error and they can be affected by environment. Innate behavior shows very low variation in population, but learned behavior shows high variation in population. Innate behavior evolved through natural selection, but the capacity to learn is a product of natural selection. Example of innate behavior are newborn instincts and migration of black cats. Example of learned behavior is acquisition of language and social skills. We can see domesticated behavior in pets. When we give training to dolphins to perform is also a learned behavior. Now, animal may learn behavior in a variety of ways. According to Thorpe's 1963, learning is of two types: flexible learning and restricted learning. Flexible learning is the gradual feeding of a response when a stimulus that proves to be safe, neutral, or irrelevant is given repeatedly. Flexible learning includes habituation, classical conditioning, operant conditioning, etc. Restricted learning takes place very early in animal's life. It includes imprinting. Now, habituation. It is the simplest type of negative learning. It is the gradual fading of response as a result of continuous stimulus which is of no significance. So, habituation occurs for only that stimulus which is of no significance. Time is very important factor in habituation. The fast the negative stimulus, more fast habituation. Habituation can be a functionally important aspect of animals' behavior in its natural surroundings. By habituation, animals learn to conserve energy and time by not responding to an irrelevant stimulus. So, In this type of learning, animal decrease the frequency of behavior in response to a repeated stimulus. This occurs when a behavior does not result in some type of benefit or reward, means stimulus is of no significance. It is adaptive because responding to a stimulus when there is no benefit or reward is a waste of energy. I am giving example over here. It is the sea anemone. When touched for the first time, it withdraws its antennas. But after many touches, the anemone habituates and no longer responds and doesn't withdraws its tentacles. So it is the example of habituation. Significance of habituation is that when a new ecosystem is being invaded, the abiotic and biotic factors will affect the animals. And if it is a faster, more fast habituation, hence more fast the animals become adaptive and hence can survive easily. Otherwise, it will be excluded from new environment. Now, classical conditioning. It is the type of learning in which animal learns to associate one stimulus with the another. In this type of learning, a stimulus that normally produces a particular behavior is linked with the second stimulus. The second stimulus is the something neutral to which animal does not normally respond. If the animal is repeatedly exposed to both stimuli together, it learns to associate the two stimuli. Because of this association, the animal will respond to the second stimulus alone in the same way that it responds to the normal stimulus. Classical conditioning is also known as associative learning because the organism learns about the relation of one stimulus to the another. So classical conditioning is a type of learning where the animal is influenced by prior occurring of sequence involving that behavior and a different behavior. This different behavior and its stimulus are called as reinforcers. This type of learning includes rewards and punishment. The Russian physiologist Ivan Pavlov in late 1800s and early 1900s, he investigated behavior in dogs and he performed the experiment called as famous salivation experiment on dog. So this is a example of Pavlov. This experiment includes conditioned stimulus, unconditioned stimulus, conditioned responses and unconditioned responses. So before conditioning, here conditioned stimulus, unconditioned stimulus is food. So before conditioning, he put food in front of dog. So he produces salivation. Because of on seeing food, the dog produces salivation. So food is unconditioned stimulus and the response of salivation is unconditioned response. Then he put bell. And he recorded responses. So he observed that there is no salivation in dog on seeing bell. So bell is a neutral stimulus, and no salivation means no conditioned response. Then during conditioning, he put bell with food. Food. Then he recorded response. He observed salivation in dog. Now, salivation is unconditioned response because bell, that is a neutral stimulus, and the food, unconditioned stimulus, they are both together in front of dog, and he produces salivation. So it is an unconditioned response. After condition, he repeated pairing this many of times. Then, after conditioning, he just put bell in front of dog. On seeing bell, on hearing bell, he produced salivation. So, now it is a conditioned response, and the bell is and the ringing bell is unconditioned, sorry, conditioned stimulus. So food is a unconditioned stimulus, and the bell and ringing bell is a conditioned stimulus. So I am repeating, before conditioning, food produces unconditioned response, that is a salivation. Before conditioning, bell does not produce any salivation, so no conditioned response. But during conditioning, bell, pair of bell and food produces salivation. It is a unconditioned response. Now after conditioning, bell, which is a conditioned stimulus, produces salivation in dog. Now it is a conditioned response. So it is the example of conditioned classical conditioning. Now operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is also known as instrumental learning and trial error method. In instrumental conditioning, the sequence of events is dependent upon the behavior of organism. Typically, some kind of reward or punishment is utilized. In it, an animal learns either to perform a behavior that is rewarded or to stop performing a behavior that is punished. And very well known scientist, he investigated this type of learning. He was Edward Thorndike. It is the B.F. Skinner's experiment on rat. In his experiment, rats and pigeons were trained to push levers and perform actions to receive food rewards. But electrical shock punished incorrect actions. So, in his experiment, a laboratory rat depresses a lever and obtains food reinforcement. Operant conditioning, one more example of Flood and Overmere in 1971 trained a goldfish to swim down an alley from a start chamber to a goal chamber using food as a reinforcement. And he found that time taken to leave the start chamber and to traverse the alley decreased progressively over trials. So this is operant conditioning. Operant conditioning consists essentially of training of animals to perform a task to obtain a reward. Now, imprinting. It is a type of learning that occurs at a particular age or a life stage that is rapid and independent of the species involved. In 1920, Oscar Henrith discovered a very surprising behavior in goslings. He found that goslings tend to follow a large moving object soon after hatching, and they relate this object in a specific later on in their life. In the wild condition, the first big object for an animal is obviously its own parents. So, they not only tend to follow their parents when young, but later on they prefer to mate with the animal that resemble their parents. Conrad Lorenz called this type of learning as imprinting and defined it as imprinting is the rapid learning of certain general characters of a stimulus object. Imprinting occurs at a very specific time, that is very early in the animal's life. This learning occurs without reinforcement, so the appearance of imprinting may not be apparent until long after the original exposure. It is mainly found in precocial birds such as ducks, chickens, goslings, in which the young ones can run around soon after hatching. These animals makes an attachment early in their life with their mother like object, but it might be something else also. So this is a imprinting, which is a process by which young animals become attached to their mother within the first day or soon after. Thank you.